What's going on, everybody? LK here. Today, I want to talk about archetypes I like because I actually made a video, I think it's about like a year ago maybe, about fighting game archetypes I don't like. And people are talking about characters being nerfed and this thing being cheap and all that. So I wanted to flip it. Let's be positive today for once. I want to share just the type of characters I like to play in fighting games. So I also made a tier list of all the characters I've ever made before, which if you don't know me or you haven't watched that, you might be like, man, you're gonna make a tier list of 3 characters. But actually I played a lot of characters in a lot of different games. I kind of realized that there's like coincidentally, five types of characters I tend to like. So number one, it goes without saying that probably the character archetype I'm known for the most are the set play, the knockdown style characters. So these are the characters where their goal is to score some type of knockdown to get a strong advantage, and usually they can maintain this advantage and loop the situation, or at least push the situation into victory. Not only that, but I also tend to make characters who are not this type of archetype. I tend to try to give them that win condition for some reason. I don't know, my brain just makes sense. I'm like, ooh, if I do this, I can win. Ooh. But this type of character is pretty interesting for me because you can really like experiment and dig into situations with them, and like you learn about the other characters because you learn what they can do against your stuff, and then you try to build against it more and more. I find these type of things just kind of interesting, and some of the moves that I've been blessed to use in my advantageous situations have been pretty good. There's interesting ones like Secret Garden, or going way back, I have like the Flame Pit, the Akihel Vermilion Flame Pit, or Gold Tank's Ghosts. But then there are ones that I ended up optimizing around, like I mentioned, right? So there's like there's Ice Mirror, for example. For number two, I wrote down Shoto. Not quite Shoto. For anime players, you'll hear people talk about like standard characters. They might be Shotos, they might not be Shotos, but they just have like a very normal toolkit. So if you're talking about BlazBlue, for example, there'd be like a bunch of them, right? So Ragna and Jin would be like the obvious Shotos, right? Like your Ken and Ryu type archetypes that you see in basically every 2D fighting game. But then there are characters like Noelle Vermilion, Makoto Nanea, Naoto Kurogane, not to be confused with Naruto Shirogane from Persona. I don't know if that's a coincidence, I don't know. And these are characters that, you could put them in like other archetypes. Like you said, like Makoto's like a boxer character, or something like that. But the main thing these characters all have in common is that they have a pretty like standardized toolkit. They all move kind of the same way. I'm not gonna say they pressure the same, but it's one of those, if you learn one of them, you can learn how to play the others pretty easily type thing. I like these type of characters mostly for that reason. Like you could just kind of hop into them real quick. Sometimes, it's fun for me to take a long time to learn a character, but it might not necessarily be fun for everybody. Like some people really just want to play the game. So for starters, like one thing I like about both Melty Blood and Dragon Ball and Smash, actually, when I think about Smash too, and Strive too has this element. I don't think as much as the other games, is it's just really easy to pick up characters. So if you just feel like trying a character because you think they're cool, or maybe you're like me, you don't respect the characters, so you want to just like pick them up and show people why you think you're stupid, you can learn them pretty easily. When people say it's hard to pick up characters in old Guilty Gear, it's true. It's mostly because like no one has the same chains, everyone has different moves, everyone has different combos. Of course, everyone has different combos in like every game, but in like Multi Blood, for example, a lot of characters have the same basic combo. Nowhere near optimal, but basic combo. Dragon Ball has the same thing. For Guilty Gear Strive, a lot of characters' basic combos only like 3 or 4 hits, and if you play the game regularly, you have seen Giovanna do like dash, 5k, 6p, kick. Like you've seen it. Like you could do it. You could do it. So I like that the characters are easy to hop into and just like easy to play. And usually these characters, you interact with the opponent more, where like set play characters is more like you building something so that your opponent can't interact with you. Standard characters in Shotos is usually like the opposite. For number 3, I wrote like unique characters. Of course, every fighting game has many archetypes. However, usually, and especially in like these anime fighters, Arxis games, things like that, there's usually a character that doesn't really fit well into any single or even 2 or even 3 archetypes sometimes. Maybe we could step back and say, oh, well, after playing this character for a while, they're basically this. It's usually a character that has some either really, really unique gimmicks, or they have something that's really made for that game. So for example, in my head, probably the main one for me would be Margaret. She is a character that's fast with big buttons, who uses her persona a lot, who can zone and also set play you, and her pressure's like okay. I don't know when I would tell somebody what type of character she is. I would just be like, oh, you know, like she's her persona a lot, she has a unique playstyle. These characters are really interesting to me, so it's kind of the same lane as set play characters. It's just like you get to tinker around with their tools and see how to use their tools in different situations. If there's one thing about me, it's that I'm usually not satisfied when people are like, this does this and that's it. I often find myself revisiting tools to see like, oh, isn't there more? Oh, isn't there more? Or, isn't there more of this? Can't I use this here? Can't I use this against this person? And unique characters have that basically on like all their moves. So for me, they're like super fun. This doesn't just apply to unique characters, but for my Dragon Ball people, it should be kind of obvious, but it applies to teams too. I used a lot of weird teams in that game. I played Ginyu for like 6 months. I hate thinking that I used Ginyu for so long, but I was like, hey, he might be broken. He wasn't broken. I used Majin Buu for a little while. The team that put a big smile on my face at the end of my time playing the game was a very unique team at the time. It was Gotenks, Roshi, Broly. I'm an Android 17 lover. You know, like there's a lot of like unique characters I like, or characters that are not considered like meta at the time. You know, I might just think I'm a special snowflake though. There's that too. So number 4. So one character archetype I really, really like, and I wish I got to play more because it's not that common in the games that I play. But if I played KOF, I probably would have the time of my life. Are fast grapplers. I'm a really big fan of fast grapplers. I don't like slow grapplers that much because it's not that I think they're annoying. It's that, especially in anime games, they usually have like some annoying gimmick. So like, if Zangief is good, it's usually because he gets to mix you up often, and he gets to, like, kill projectiles and something, and then he doesn't die. Those are usually, like, his big 3 things. But, like, Temkin has, like, the full screen armor, he can kill projectiles, Taker can magnetize you, Kanji can paralyze you like an RPG. Broly is a grappler that is better at zoning than other grapplers and kills projectiles. That's why I played him for so long. Like, they always be giving grapplers these annoying-ass tools, right? But fast grapplers is usually just that they're just fast. You know, they have a command grab. They probably can combo out of it, and they're just fast. I only got to use this one single time. So my first tournament winning character, which is Kohaku, Half Moon Kohaku, she has a command grab. She's a fast grappler. She was extremely cheap. I'm honestly, with the version I played her, and it's really fun. Like, it's really fun. The thing is, they don't need some type of annoying, like, oh, I just tank all your moves and stuff. Look at me, I'm big and strong. Like, their gimmick is that they're fast. And having that type of pressure structure plus speed is, like, enough. And, again, I kind of like interacting with my opponents and, like, messing with them. So this is a character archetype I really enjoyed playing. And so for the last archetype, I mean, I couldn't lie. This comes up a lot in characters that I choose. Mobility characters that are either just straight up fast, or they have like some type of mobility options, like some special moves that give them unique mobility. I don't go out of my way to pick this. Some people go out of their way to pick mobility characters. It just usually happens that the characters I have also have this aspect. Even in Exert, people are like, why don't you play Chip also or something, right? And my thing is, like, I'm not like looking for just like the character to be fast. I'm usually looking for some of the other things, but it is also pretty fun to play a fast character. And I've played some games that are like very fast. Like, my very first competitive game was Super Smash Bros. Melee, right? So 2 of my mains were Marth and Fox. So I mean, the game is fast. Fox is super fast, right? A lot of my characters that I play also are really mobile. So like characters like H. Kwaku aside, there's of course Milia is right there. Movement in video games is just fun in general. I'm sure like many people agree. I'm sure I could go into YouTube and just like search why people like certain video game, and they'll be like movement is one of the main reasons. So that's a big thing for me too. It's actually a complaint I have about Strive, you know, the air dashes and all that. So it's fun, but it's not like the main thing I'm looking for. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't like pick this a lot, even if I don't intend to, even if I don't be like, look at all these like teleporting special moves, you know, because I don't usually look for that. It's just like recurring theme in characters that I play. So I thought I'd put it at the bottom at number 5. So looking at a chart of all my mains, then it's a pretty mixed bag, honestly, but there are a few characters that are mobile that have like good set play, right? So there's like Valkenhayn, Milia and Akio Vermilion would be the main ones. Also, there's multiple versions of Milia, right? Because I have like Exert Milia and Stride Milia. There's some combinations too, so like I have like combinations of like standard character plus like set play on there also. So that would be like Persona 4 Arena, Mitsuru, and like many versions of Lychee. But then also like Lychee also is like pretty unique character. I haven't played a character like that since. I don't think they'll ever make a character like that again. Same with like Margaret, she's like pretty unique. 9, I would say at the time I made this video, because I made that previous video in 2022. Asuka is kind of like 9. I feel like Asuka is what they wanted 9 to be. They wanted 9 to be like, oh, you're gonna use spells, you're gonna be a cool Onesan rich, right? But instead, unfortunately, she just turned into a big rock meme, where Asuka is, he really just memes you with spells. There's other standard characters on here like Karin from SF5, Catalina from Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. Oh, my boy Gold Tanks is right there. He's a subplay character. What am I talking about? Yeah, let me know what you guys think. What are your favorite archetypes in fighting games? We're being positive today. As usual, if you have any questions or comments, definitely feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Like and subscribe if you guys feel like it, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.